So I'm going to show off my little Milwaukee Packout miter station here. I'm mostly going to focus on these new toolbox compact plates. That's this plate, that's here and here. And I'm also going to talk about these battery storage racks on the sides also. And then just to make it interesting, I'll do a toolbox tour and I'll show you what I have inside the drawers on these Packouts. I ran into some gotchas with this that I wasn't expecting. I also did find some other interesting surprises. And then I'll share a little bit about my hack for this mounting plate on the back. And you may have already noticed that this is not the official Milwaukee rolling base. This is a mounting plate in my own casters. The M18 battery holder on the other side and this M12 battery holder, they both clip on and off of these toolbox attachment mounts. The compact plate comes with them. They do sell these separately. They came with the M12 battery storage kit. I didn't realize that these are specifically made to attach and detach from these mounts. I originally had the M18 battery storage here above the M12 battery storage. It's just too crowded, it doesn't work, because on these solutions, the batteries go in from top down instead of the batteries going into the sides. Milwaukee has solutions that have battery holders that go in from the side instead of top down. And those solutions I don't have, but they clip onto the compact plate. So you can see here it's 2x2 and it clips top down only. I was thinking that boxes could be clipped in this way. They can't. They can only be clipped in this way. So the paper towel holder is a 3-position vertical format. The other solution for battery storage will be that same form factor. Just be aware that on this plate, it's got to hang down. You can't mount it up here like this because this interferes with this and it won't clip in. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. It's got to be down here like that. It's the only way to get that in there. And if you're like me and you thought that you were going to be able to clip this on here like this, nope. The paper towel holder is vertical only. So I got the basket and the tape measure rail. I found out that a speed square fits perfectly in there with tape measure. This whole mounting plate can be slid down or up, and I have it kind of in the middle. I originally had this all the way to the top, and then when I used the outfeed support, this interfered. So over here on this side, got the M18 battery storage. This one does hold big batteries. This is the HD12, the XC8, and then I've got just a little XC3. Just like the M12 on the other side, this whole thing clips on and off of these mounting points. These mounts come with this in one kit. So over here on this mounting plate, I ran into some gotchas and I had some interesting surprises. On this side, I found out that a tape measure can actually stick to the magnetic plate, right? Not every tape measure will work. This large 25-foot, it's too heavy, it falls off. It'll kind of stay there, but if it's bumped, it'll fall off. This 16 works. Not quite as well. This Milwaukee 16 just happens to work really well in there. These magnetic trays don't lock in, which is probably okay. This is the hook I'm using for the hammers. One of the gotchas is you can't put hooks above any of the magnetic trays because it doesn't lock in, it interferes here. This one can hang down here like this, but it does get a little bit flimsy feeling, and then additional hooks could be put there. having handy storage for this blower was one of my main goals, and I'm pretty happy with it. I tried some other hooks. This was the one that worked out the best. I tried the 6-inch curved hook. That didn't work. These hooks didn't work. And I tried this hook, but because of the contours on this, it just didn't work well. This was the solution. This particular blower also happens to sit nicely like that, and it's very secure in there. It's more handy to have it like this when you're working at the station. You can just grab this, blow all the dust out of the way. I wasn't planning on putting hammers here, but it just kind of worked. It just kind of worked that the hammer handles would go down behind the battery storage, and it just so happens that these two hammers happen to fit in there like that, so I'm just going to leave them there. When I finished figuring out what I wanted here, I was using this top drawer for pencils and squares and tape measures, but I really like having them here and accessible, so I used this bin. I just put this screw in here myself. I made sure that this bin was far enough over so that it didn't interfere with even the widest options that fit on here. And then I also made sure that I didn't drill that screw into the aluminum rail, so I've got that kind of strategically positioned right there, and that just sits there like that and makes a nice place to put pencils. And you can see that this compact plate is all the way to the top. That works out okay even with these extensions out. Nothing is in my way. There's no obstructions. Everything works fine. So there's kind of some dead space behind here. And you can use that a couple of ways. You can put a thin square behind there. This is a Japanese square. You know, this typical thick American square kind of fits there, but I'll show you on the other side it fits better when this plate is lower. If you move the plate down, you get this extra space behind here, and you can fit that heavy, thick square in there, no problem. Here's how the Japanese square fits in there. If we look at the back of this, you can see I've got this Packout case in here horizontally. That's because this is a custom hack. Milwaukee doesn't seem to have, at this point in time, designed anything that puts Packout accessories or cases on the back long edge of any Packout. Right now, they're accessorizing the sides. They're not accessorizing the back. I don't think that they're very far away from it, however. So these rack attachment mounts, they're short. To me, it seems like all they need to do is make these rack attachment mounts longer, about 3¼ inches longer, and this plate would be able to mount on the back because these can slide out then about 3¼ inches on each side, and I think that they'll be able to mount here. The angle should be correct. Everything should work. The only thing is that this plate rests against this rail, and if this plate was on the back, it would have to rest against the plastic. I think it would be pretty cool if they just made another plate that works on the back that was 2 by 3 positions. I think it would be useful so that this kind of a hack wasn't necessary. I think it would be kind of cool if they made a horizontal option as well as a vertical option for a big plate on the back. All right, so how did I hack this? I just used the saw that's on top of here to cut this off, cut this side off, so that I have enough clearance for these clips. If I ever want to loosen these up or take these off, I need clearance here for this clip to be able to open up. It's like a clamshell. This opens up and I need clearance here. To cut this, I can't put this against the fence because it sits crooked. So I got to turn it this way, and then I got a straight line on that side. So I'll cut it this way. Because there's a contour in the back, I had to put a 1/4 inch thick piece of wood back here. Call it a furring strip, whatever. And let me see if I can do this. Okay. There we go. And then I took the drawers out, put the bolts in from the inside. Clip we lift up, and because this clip is flipped on the other side, I have to push down on it, and then these drawers come out. So inside of here, there's actually plenty of clearance for the head of the bolt. So these drawers have this big overhang in the back. So there's a lot of space in the back. These bolts are 1/4 by 1.5 inches. I think 1.25 inches would have been better. So 1/4 by 1.25 inches would be ideal. And these are bolted on in these two positions. This one here was a little tricky because it's right on this contour. This whole plate is moved a little bit this way off center to get off of that contour and get onto the flat. Okay, we just cleared that bevel. Okay, I don't know how much weight it can hold, and I'm not gonna push it to its limits or anything like that. So that's how I hacked and modded this base plate to accommodate Packout cases on the back. So let me give you a quick toolbox tour. So here I've got the Milwaukee sander. I love those 3M extract sanding pads. Those things are awesome. Got the barrel grip jigsaw, blades, more blade storage. And here I've got the Makita blower, and the Makita blower accessories are all in here. This one doesn't have the airflow volume that the other blower does. And both of these blowers have completely different ecosystems of attachments. So then in here I've got the cutoff, the random orbit, and the multi-tool. And you can see that I'm not using the Milwaukee dividers. I wouldn't be able to fit this in here with a blade in it. Even without a blade in it, I wouldn't be able to fit this in here if I had the Milwaukee divider in here. This basket is actually a Japanese product. The dimensions of it just happen to be perfect. I'll see if I can find a link for this. This is going to be Amazon Japan. Because it leaves me some dead space here, I can fit the multi-tool with a blade in it there. So that worked out really well. Here I'm kind of experimenting with some different things. This is the right angle Milwaukee Impact. I just put that saw in there. And I got my M12 Surge. Okay, and then the top drawer is pretty much measurement and marking. Anything that I need to use at the miter station to do measurement and marking, I've got those items all here in the top drawer. And even more accessible here and here, and the square over on the side. And what I like about this is that I wheel it over toward the garage door, make my cuts, I blow all the dust out, close the garage door, bring this back in, put it in a corner. Especially with a YouTube studio in here with computer equipment and stuff, I just really need to control the dust, and this is working out great. If you like that, please feed the algorithm for me. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.